Hello and welcome, guys. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley. I'm an intuitive card reader, a spiritual intuitive, I guess you can say. And we're going to do a pick a card reading for the solstice. So these can be any messages for you that you need to know. Solstices are about new beginnings and kind of what wants to be let go of, what wants to be healed, and then what wants to come in for you. So I grabbed 7 decks because 7 decks wanted to come in for you guys today. So each pile will have 7 cards. So this will be a little bit longer, but for these solstice energies, Divine is saying these are going to be energies for the next 6 months to 3 months to 6 months. So definitely a lot of energies coming in, and Divine has a lot to say for you guys. Also, I usually do just 3 cards for the pick a card, but when asking Divine what they wanted to bring in today, they decided that they want to do 4 piles today. So you'll have 4 piles to choose from and 7 cards each. So I just want to warn everybody it's going to be a little bit longer for the messages. But again, you know, it's not like these pick a cards are just that kind of quick energy, quick message from Divine. These are very, there's a lot of energy coming through. So I, of course, will put timestamps down in the description box to let you guys know where things are at. But yeah, I can feel a lot of kind of anxiety. Sometimes I have, I'm kind of breathless when I do these collective pick a card readings because I'm tapping into a lot of you guys. And I know with the energies lately, we've had a lot of transitions and we've had a lot of changes. So for sure, Divine is here to help you. But yeah, these messages can be kind of a message of anything. I have a few different decks here. I have an activation deck, which I just shuffled. I have a new deck from Alana Fairchild. It is Journey of Love. So, you know, I don't know what's going to come in. So messages are might be all over the place, but again, it's what Divine wants to say. I'm also feeling very hot, so that kind of energy from the sun is coming in for sure, even though I'm doing this at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay, guys, just one last announcement. I have a lot of videos on Patreon. I do these pick a cards for you guys for free because I think they're fun. But I do daily videos, weekly videos, and a lot of extra content that helps you guys out with just kind of clearing your energies and getting to understand this journey in life. So if you guys want to, you can join me on Patreon for more of that kind of more deeper inner look on what's going on here in life. I do also connection spreads along with, you know, just your journey in general. So it's a little bit of romance and a lot of, you know, helping you try to empower yourself into a place where you can walk this journey with a lot more knowledge and a lot more wisdom, as well as being a bit more balanced in life. So if you want to join me there, I'll have the link below, but if not, I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm super excited. I can always tell that there's always great messages, but when I get that excited feeling, it's just like, oh, ho, ho, what's coming in? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a second to pick your pile. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. I'm going to grab the books really quick, just in case just in case Divine says to read from them. Being an intuitive channeler, I very rarely do I read from the books, but it gives you guys a second to pick your piles. But I always like to have them handy just in case that rare time where divine is like the book reading is what we're trying to bring in for people and not my intuitive interpretation of it. So, again, pile number 1, pile number 2, 3, and 4. So I have 7 decks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more books to get, guys. Really don't, like, I am not quite feeling that anything's gonna come in, but again, it's one of those things that I just like to be prepared. I still have 1 deck. I don't know what I'm missing, but if it comes in, I'll get that, or if it comes in, I'll get it at that time. I'm just gonna move these off to the side, and we're gonna start with pile number 1. So, ooh, beautiful. Okay, so we have transformation. And guys, I'm just going to say these decks here on the first one, and I'm going to try not to repeat them throughout the whole thing, but, this is a Lightworker Oracle. So we have, transformation. From the Wisdom of the House of Night deck, we have honesty. From the Sacred Activation cards, or Oracle, I can't remember, from Lan, we have universal love, and I will bring these cards back up, especially these activation cards, to show you guys. From the language of the secret language of color, we have auburn. From the Conscious Spirit Oracle deck, we have the third eye chakra. From the Journey of Love deck, we have hidden beauty. And then from the Oracle of the Unicorns, we have awareness. So I'm going to read these cards for you really quick and then get them into the kind of the position where Divine wants to talk about them. So for third eye, it says, I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply this wisdom to my life. We have transformation. Things are changing on a cellular level. Deep healing. We have auburn. Ground yourself. We have awareness, live in the moment, be conscious of your thoughts, look for signs and guidance. Again, we have hidden beauty and honesty, and then I'm going to read universal love, and then I'm going to put it up for you guys to hopefully get an activation from it. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Spirit is also saying that this universal love is also for yourself. So we start love, true unconditional love starts with ourselves and then moves on to other people when our cup is full through that self-care, self-worth, and self-love. Divine is saying that you guys, for whoever picked pile number 1, you really need to start with yourself, for yourself. So, they're telling me to talk about, before I talk about the third eye chakra and transformation, they're telling me to talk about this awareness card. They brought this here because they want you to become aware of the fact that you're not being honest with yourselves when it comes to this hidden beauty. They're talking about how you guys who chose pile number 1 are beautiful and you're not seeing that in your own life. And I'm not talking about just physical beauty, because they're saying that you are beautiful physically, but your soul and your soul and your essence is also extremely beautiful. They're saying that you're hiding it from the world, like she's hiding here in the card. This is why that universal love is coming out, because they're saying that you give so much love and light to the world, but you're not receiving it back from people, and you're not receiving it from yourself, and that kind of is the biggest issue here. That's why this honesty is coming up. They're saying you're not being honest with yourself when it comes to this. They're talking a lot about cultural and religious beliefs that we grow up with that sometimes can put us in a place of, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not beautiful. They're also saying that sometimes for some of you this is going to be trauma based, but for others of you it's going to be, they're saying about 20% of you this is going to be purely trauma based, but even those of you who have trauma, this will be closer. This will be culturally based. and religious based, thinking that you can't shine your light, that you can't shine your love for yourself, and that you have to give it all away. Spirit again is saying that it starts within you. It starts with your own self-care and your self-love. They're reminding me that, you know, our outside world mirrors our inside world. So when we're not receiving love, or people are not giving love to us, it's because, or like acknowledging that we're beautiful, or that we have a beautiful soul or a beautiful body, or just anything in general, dealing with love and beauty. It's because we're not giving ourselves that. And they're saying that you need to get in that mental and emotional space to know that you're the most, like, you're the diva in life. And I'm not saying diva in your life in a bad way. Like, they're just saying that you need to have that self-worth and self-care, to understand that you are the high priestess or the empress or the emperor in your life, depending on if you're male or female. They're talking a lot about self-care. They're saying that this is going to start with self-care. So giving yourself that time and those rituals of self-care is loving to yourself. And when you can do that and you can go inside and heal those self-worth, self-care parts of yourself, that unconditional love for you is going to come through, and then you can better serve other people. It's that idea of filling your cup first before. They're showing me the Ace of Cups in Tarot. It's filling your cup first and having it overflow so you can help help care out for other people better. They're talking a lot about burnout too. So you're not seeing your inner beauty, you're burning out in life, and your energy is just completely depleted. Okay, so they're saying, I'm getting a lot of information for you guys for pile number 1, but they're saying to move on to this third eye chakra in transformation, because of the fact that it deals a lot with what they're coming in with now. We have Auburn, which the little saying on the bottom of this is ground yourself. So ground yourself in nature. Especially, I love that this is like a forest, because they're saying that you're so in the 3D, so connected to kind of the material world, that you're forgetting your spiritual self, and you're forgetting to ground yourself in that vibration of nature, which will help raise your vibration. Understand your beauty, because here's the thing, they're saying nature is not perfect, and we still have this overwhelming knowledge that nature is beautiful, and it's not about perfection. They're saying you're getting caught up a lot in that perfection, or that idea of perfection that comes from culture and religion. Can sometimes come from family, but mostly from our culture and religion is where these ideas start from. So they're saying go out in nature, recognize the beauty in nature, and the beauty, you can better recognize the beauty in yourself when you recognize the imperfect beauty in nature. As well as grounding yourself into Gaia will help raise your vibration and help you on your healing journey. They're saying that because this transformation is waiting. It literally is like a person in a waiting room. They're showing me a person in a waiting room, like checking his watch, being like, gosh, when is this gonna happen? When is this person gonna open up to me so I can bring them this transformation into this next level of you that understands self-love, unconditional love for yourself, self-worth, and self-care, and that you're beautiful and you deserve all those things. So transformation says that things are changing on a cellular level and deep healing. Again, that guy's out in your waiting room waiting to bring you that deep healing on a cellular level. And here's the thing, guys, this actually reminds me of a video I saw a long time ago called What the Bleep Do We Know? And in there it talked about a Japanese scientist who put pieces of paper on water bottles to change the molecular cellular structure, not molecular, but like the cellular look of water. And when he put things like peace and love, they created these beautiful snowflakes that he could see under a microscope. And when he put one on there that said, I hate you, instead of being a beautiful snowflake, the water was like a really like gross, like diseased yellow color. And it was like, it reminds me of like when your nail gets fungus, like fungal nails that like were breaking off and just brittle. So the thoughts that we think for ourselves change us on a cellular level, whether we know it or not. So it's time to be conscious of the thoughts that you're bringing in for yourself. And again, you are beautiful. So if you're denying yourself that you're beautiful, if you're telling yourself that you're not, if you're telling yourself that you're not worthy of love and light and happiness, if you're not being honest with yourself, pile number one, you are changing yourself in a negative way on a molecular level, and the spirit is trying to bring in a transformation for you that is a more positive one, to change yourself on a cellular level in a positive way. They're saying that a lot of this is going to come through your third eye chakra, especially for if there's divine feminines out there that are chose pile number one. A lot of our essence comes through our third eye chakra, because that vision is for us specifically. Like that's part of who we are, is we bring in those visions. So again, it says, I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply this wisdom to my life. Your higher self knows that you are beautiful, that you are worthy, that your higher self loves you unconditionally. It's time for you to bring that here, ground that into the 3D. So whether you need to go out in nature and keep on reminding yourself of that again and again to have that inner understanding within yourself, or if you need to go on your healing path, that's something that you're being called to do. You can bring that in and ground that within yourselves, as well as divine masculines. I know that bringing in that divine feminine sense of yourself is sometimes scary to you, especially for some of you who are divine masculine females. It's sometimes it's hard to bring in that sense of yourself at times, but this balance between your yin and yang, between your divine feminine and your divine masculine self, and bringing in that divine feminine part of yourself that has these visions through your third eye chakra, is only going to expand your knowledge and your spiritual self in life. It's going to bring you into completion within yourself and within your healing journey, so that you can walk on a more spiritual path, and a path that has always been meant for you. So pile number one, great messages. These are just fantastic. Remember to bring in that love and that understanding of your beauty in your life. Moving on to pile number two. We have the Mintikin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. We have self-worth. We have magic for your activation card. I love when that card comes out. We have Zur. We have root chakra. Guys, these have like all the chakras. This deck has all the chakras in it, but it's like a 52 card deck. So it has more than the 7 chakras, and the fact that they're coming up is just amazing. But we have root chakra. We have heart of the moment. And then we have innocence. So I'm going to read these and then we're going to get into the messages. So innocence says, take time to play, nurture your inner child, live with a childlike sense of wonder. Divine is saying heart of the moment and self-worth are going with that. We have root chakra. I have everything I need to survive and I grow on the physical plane, as well as Azure. It says protect yourself. And then we have the Mintikin, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. And then we have magic. I'm going to read this and then put the activation up for you. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond the moment, beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So they're saying this has to do with this Mintikin card. Like I honestly have never, like, it says the original light workers. I know a lot about spirituality and the esoteric, and I've never heard of the Mintikins before. So it's yeah, Spirit saying it's not something that that we necessarily have to worry about unless you want to look it up, but they're saying it has to do with this magic. So they're talking about how you are a light worker, pile number 2, or whoever chose pile number 2, and you are meant to bring this magic into your world and then in the world of others. They're saying that you just need to believe. They're talking about how it goes along with this self-worth card, and with these cards, but just talking about this first, bringing in this magic, believing in the magic of yourself. They're not talking about, like, they're saying it doesn't have anything to do with the spiritual path or like bringing in like witchcraft, or like they're showing me Harry Potter. It doesn't have anything to do with the fantasy around it, or with like any specific practice. So you don't have to be like Wiccan, or you don't have to be pagan, you don't have to be like believe in the whole fantasy of magic to bring in magic to your life. They're saying that this is like your divine essence. You are magic, and you're going to see those kind of miracles in your life. And that magic is how you're going to define it for yourself and others, and how others are going to define you. But it is your light worker essence that is trying to come through for you, for whoever chose pile number 2. But it's being blocked by this self-worth is what they're saying. So they're saying because of the fact that they're saying that whoever chose pile number 2, you have a lower self-worth right now. And they're also saying that a lot of you are going to be triggered by that because you think that you do not. But they're saying that any worth that you have right now is ego-based, and there's okay, so they're trying to talk while I'm trying to talk, so sometimes I have to stop, but they're saying that the confidence and the self-worth that you have right now is ego-based, and it's a very it's a basis in self-worth that is being a detriment to you right now. Opening yourself up to this magic of your higher self and of your true soul and your true heart, instead of being ego-based. So taking that light worker essence and that magic essence through your heart chakra instead of through your mind, you will be open to a true self-worth that has a basis they're showing me like a green foundation, which is a heart chakra foundation. Our heart chakra deals with our love for ourselves. So they're showing me a solid green foundation of a path that you can walk along. So they're saying that it's not a bad thing that you've had the self-worth coming through the ego. You've had to have it. They're talking about, a lot of you in pile number 2, especially because this root chakra coming up is showing me how true this is, that a lot of this kind of false self-worth came out of the fact that you guys went through a lot of trauma in life. But they're asking you to open up your heart chakra, that love for yourself, so that you can be in a true essence of yourself and a true self-worth, so you can bring your love and light to the world. They're talking to me about how those of you who chose pile number 2, I'm smiling because they're showing me great visions of you guys being leaders who are complete within yourself, but you need to get to that true self-worth and that true self-confidence, that true self-love, instead of running through your heart chakra and your true essence of yourself, and instead of through your ego. But you guys are meant to do amazing things in this life. So it's just getting yourself to that true sense of who you are and the higher self you're supposed to be. They're talking about how they're talking about bringing this innocence back, especially when when we live lives that are more trauma based, and I can speak from experience on this. Especially when we live lives that are more trauma based, we lose that innocence within us. We lose that connection to our inner child. They're saying that this is why this heart of the moment is coming up. This whole reading is for you to bring in your heart in this moment. It's not about, again, a love for somebody else or a love from somebody else. This is a love from yourself to yourself, to bring in this innocence and connect again with your inner child. For some of you, that's going to mean deep healing journeys, but for others of you, and again, remember, these are solstice energies. So this is the next 3 to 6 months. And it can be, sometimes these deep shadow work, the deep inner child work, can be a bit of a rough path. But healing these wounds and coming from your true heart, your true self, your true heart chakra, that's cleared and healed, will help you tremendously on your path. Sometimes, again, the path into these shadows work, into this inner child work, again, speaking from experience, can be a bit rough, but it is never as rough as staying in that grief and pain that the trauma caused in your life in the first place. And it definitely is never as rough as, sorry guys, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I have no idea what's going on outside my neighborhood, but so somebody's got a car going on, so excuse the noise. It doesn't matter. Even at 2 a.m. in the morning, I have a neighborhood that's awake. But they're saying that the path can be rough, but it's not as rough as going through these thoughts and emotions day after day after day and continuing to live in that trauma, and it's not as rough as going through it in the first place. And I can tell you guys again, and I bring this up a third time because I have gone through this myself in life for so many ways, through so many traumas and so many healing journeys. It is worth it on the other side to be healed within yourself and put those traumas kind of to bed, and to have that unconditional love for yourself, that self-worth, that self-care, and self-love. This not dealing with, but clearing and healing your root chakra will help you in this. Our root chakra is where it's where we ground from. It is where our fears lie. If we ever have something that comes up that is very scary to us, a lot of times we need to, either with frequency music or colors or meditation, we need to work with our root chakra. And again, like our chakras are all connected, but everything kind of runs through the heart. So when we're having that deep fear and that pain in our chest and everything, a lot of times working with our root chakra will help with this. And specifically for you guys in pile number 2, root chakra came up for you guys. So please work to clear your root chakra, work to ground into nature, and to help have those nature vibrations come and help you with that, with the grounding and healing. And last but not least, we have Azure, protect yourself. So they're saying that this is not like you have to put in armor and like block things off. This is they're saying that this is you on your path. will naturally protect yourself once you start healing. And once you start, they're saying once you start connecting with a healthy inner child, when you heal those inner child wounds and start co-creating with a healthy inner child, it's not necessarily that you have to put on armor and protect yourself and throw up shields and protect yourself. They're saying that you on your healthy path, on your true path, on your higher path, will naturally just not bring those things that cause you pain and trauma and grief into your path. Again, I'm an example of this. I'm a pure example of this. The more once I started healing myself, and the more healing I do, the more chaos does not come into my life. The more that trauma does not come into my life. The more that grief and pain doesn't come into my life, because I'm no longer aligned with it. When we're sitting in those, that fear, that non-cleared root chakra, not healing ourselves, not doing our shadow work or inner child work, when we're not doing these steps and we're sitting in these traumas day in and day out and every moment of every day, and believe me, I've been there, we're attracting more of it, because the fact that we can't move from it, the universe is trying to send us things to help us move from those things, to help us heal and move from our path. So when we actually start doing that, we start being in a more balanced, healed place and living from a clear heart chakra and a clear full chakra system. And we just don't attract that stuff in our lives anymore. And the stuff that we do attract that does trigger us, we can deal with in a different, clear, healthy way. But I can tell you right now, even the more I walk along the path, even from a few months ago to now, let alone like a decade ago to now, I'm a completely different person. I have a completely different life, because I just don't attract the same drama and trauma that I used to, sitting in those unhealed emotions. So beautiful messages for pile number 2. You guys are going to be like, seriously, I cannot explain the feeling and the visions that I'm getting and do it justice. You guys are just going to have amazing lives and amazing paths, but we all need to get through that healing sometimes to get there. Moving on to pile number 3, guys. Okay, so we have no. I love this oracle deck because they have yes and no cards. We have conclusion. Again, with a no. We have coherence for the activation card. We have lilac. Beautiful card. Ooh, we have Wheel of Fortune. I love this card. We have acceptance. And then we have growth. Beautiful cards, guys. The picture's very much starting to form. I'm gonna read the cards here for a second. Let me get some water. I'm gonna read the cards here, and then we'll get into the messages. So of course we have acceptance and conclusion, and then we have no. It says wait, postpone, pause, and say no. I also gotta show this because Spirit was talking about it just for a second. That is a storm there. And I love storms because I always call it the winds of change. So it definitely helps us clear things out and move on to the next, which is another good sign for the solstice energies. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It says, I am guided by the cycles of life and live in complete harmony with them. And then we have lilac, strengthen your faith. We have growth. Seek out a mentor or a guide. Take baby steps as you grow. Be willing to learn from others. Beautiful, beautiful unicorns there. And then we have coherence. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to do the activation here in a second. I'll start talking about your messages. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. So the spirit guides are talking about how very much in your mental sector, guys, hopefully this will give you an activation, because very much in your mental sector, you have been wanting something to come in that is not meant for you. They're very much saying that you're trying to manifest desires out of a kind of an ego mind, and the feelings that I'm getting is it's not that it's not like a toxic, detrimental, like negative ego mind. You're trying to create these things mentally, but through love, but through the ego, instead of through your heart chakra. And they're also saying that a lot of this has to do with relationships for those of you who chose pile number 3. So you guys are trying to create these relationships. I don't know if you can see it, but there's people at the bottom of the card, a man and a woman. They're saying you're trying to create a relationship. Especially some of you, this won't be, I feel like they're saying like 2 of you, it will not be a pile of relationship. It'll be a pile of like work, life, a pile of like manifestations in kind of work, career, and finance. But for the rest of you, you guys are trying to manifest a relationship through love, but you're trying to do it through the ego and through like, this is what I want. And the ego has a very narrow-minded view. So when we give our desires and manifestations from our spirit and from our heart chakra out to the universe, we have that understanding that the universe is going to bring it back to us in a way that like we couldn't even imagine with our mental minds, because our spirit is a higher form of knowledge and wisdom that our mental mind can't comprehend. So when we're trying to create these relationships from or these situations, for those of you who are having a work, finance, or career situation, we are trying to manifest these things in a very narrow-minded view of the mind. And the universe wants to bring these things in for us, but when we're trying to control it, the universe can't always give us what we want, especially when the things for us are that the universe is trying to bring in don't match our mental vision of it. And the universe knows that that's for your highest good. So the universe is trying to knock on your door and give you this gift of your highest good, but you're looking through the little peephole and being like, nope, you're not what I want. Keep on moving on until I get what I want. And the universe doesn't work that way. The universe works on a higher level than our brains can ever imagine. So guys, it's about this is about you guys. This conclusion, this conclusion and this acceptance is no, it's not going to come in the controlled mental mind way that you're trying to bring it in. And guys, I'm not trying to bash you. I feel the love and light that these requests are coming from. I understand completely that you're working from a place of love and light, but you're doing it through your ego instead of your heart chakra and through your soul. But they're saying that this mental picture that you have, this thing that you're trying to bring in and control, and it doesn't feel like a control, so I understand if this triggers you guys, because it doesn't feel like you're trying to control it, but this is where the ego kind of comes in the back door and is like, no, we're not trying to control everything, but the ego is still there. And you got to do it again from a place of your spirit and your soul and your higher self instead of a place of the mental mind. This is why this acceptance and conclusion are here. Universe is trying to say is no, it's not going to be in the form that you want. Please end this thinking and accept the beautiful new chapter that we're trying to send to you that doesn't look the way you want it to. They're telling me that I need to give you guys some advice about this. So this is about not saying, I want this guy, I want that girl, I want this career, I want this much money, I want it in this city, I want it in this company, I want the relationship to be, I want this person to do this for me, to do that for me, and to be the highest version of themselves. And that highest version means the A, B, C, and D. when we make requests to the universe, we need to give it up to the universe in a way that's in a way that is releasing resistance and being open to receiving your highest good. So it's not, I want this person, I want them to treat me this way, I want them to do this for me, I want them to have this great abundant job, and I want them, sorry, I'm not explaining this right because I'm not using specifics. So I'm going to switch to using specifics. So it's not like I want Tim to stop being a jerk to me and stop treating me poorly. I want him to see my self-worth, and I want him to treat me in a way that, or I want him to treat me to, date nights twice a week. I want him to accept my family. I want him to have a great relationship with my friends. And even though he doesn't really like dogs, he's going to accept my dog because that's part of accepting me. Same thing with career. I want a career as a accountant at this insurance firm. I want to make $80,000 a year. And I want everybody to respect me. I want to become a manager of the accounting department in 5 years and make $120,000 in 5 years. These are all great things, and there is no reason, it's not a negative thing to want these things in life, but when we're narrowing down our view of what's happening or what we want, the universe is trying to knock on the door and give you the great boyfriend that's going to accept you as you are, that's going to treat you like a queen, the queen that you are, the king that you are, like a girlfriend that's going to treat you like the king that you are, and that you can treat them, as amazing as they are. Who's going to accept you and is going to accept your dog, is going to accept everything. But you need to, the same thing with a career. You're going to find a career that's going to give you that financial abundance, that's going to satisfy you in a way that they're going to recognize your strengths and who you are at your core, if you give it up to universe, and not have specifics in such kind of a narrow view of what you want. Release resistance, open yourself up to receiving, and ask the divine to give you the highest possible outcome for you, no matter what it is. Because here's the thing, maybe you were so focused on this job that you lose the job that would have started you out at 100 grand instead of 80 grand. I honestly don't know how much accountants make, so I have no idea. But maybe it's, a job that is a little bit of less money for a while, but you're going to be more satisfied with the people that you work with and work for. Same thing in relationships. You might be so focused on one person that you miss the person that's trying to come into your life, that is going to be a way better match for you, and that's going to treat you better, and that you're going to have a better connection with. So when you put your requests out to the universe, do it from your heart and understand that the universe is going to bring in the highest best for you. This deals a lot with this coherence, guys. The coherence between your mind and your heart. So when you kind of give up that egotistical thinking and that narrow-mindedness, and we all get into it sometimes, even those of us who are far on our spiritual path, we all get into that egotistical thinking of this is what I want specifically. Nobody is immune to this. It's just remembering when we recognize hey, I've been thinking about the subject more from my mind and my ego mind than I have been from my heart. It's bringing that desire down into your heart and opening yourself again, releasing resistance, opening yourself to receiving, and asking the universe for your highest good. And just because it might be heartbreaking that it's not the relationship you want or the career that you want, but I can tell you right now, divine is going to bring in the best thing for you. And in the end of the day, it's going to be, you are going to thank the universe that you waited for this great thing that came in, and that you opened up your that kind of narrow view into a bigger view to bring that beautiful thing in for you. This has to deal with growth too, guys. So it's all about growing. It's all about walking on your path and doing those baby steps. So a lot of times these, ideas are big ideas and big subjects, but I know that you guys can do it. I can see that you guys can do this. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a little bit rough at times, but you guys have the ability to grow and change and transform in your life to the higher version of yourself that you're meant to be in the first place. This deals a lot with the wheel of life, or I keep on calling it the wheel of fortune, but the wheel of life. So we can, because when we work from that ego mind instead of the heart, we can stop the wheel of life from turning, and we can be very stagnant in these energies that are trying to come to us. So we can literally stop progress and change in our lives from the energies that we're putting out into the world. So guys, this is a beautiful card of balance and of steady movement through the wheel of time. So do what you can do to open and release that narrow view to get into your heart chakra. Get out into nature. Nature is a great healing and they're saying cleansing, huge healing and cleansing energies for you that can put you in that great space of releasing resistance and receiving the best things for yourself. As well as the lilac. Lilac is here to say strength and faith. And this is faith not only in the universe, but faith in your higher self and faith in your path. Again, sometimes letting go of that view of like, it's going to be specifically this person or this career can be it can cause us a bit of grief and pain. But when we get through that and have faith that the universe is going to bring us the best thing for us, and our higher self is going to bring us the best thing for us, when we connect and heal and have that more wider view, and we have that faith, we're going to bring in the best things for ourselves. So have faith that these great things are going to come for you, even if they're not in the package that you expected it to be in. Beautiful messages for pile number 3. You guys are on an amazing path. Moving on to, last but not least, pile number 4. Oh, beautiful. So we have Priestess. We have Letting Go. We also have Allowance. We have Allowance. We have Green. We have Abundance. We have Knowing Without Knowing, beautiful card. And then we have Expansion. So I'm going to read them really quick and then we'll get into the messages. So I'm really excited because this is a lot of really good energy with pile number 4, guys. So we have Green, revitalize your nervous system. We have Expansion, spread your wings and soar, share your message and shine your light, show the world what you're made of. We have Priestess. How are you being called to stand up and lead? Again, we have Knowing Without Knowing. We have Abundance. I'm grateful for the abundance nature and the universe provide in my life. We have Letting Go. And then we have Allowance. I'm going to read this card and then put it up for an activation for you guys. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. This is a beautiful card, guys. And what Divine is saying is that those of you who chose pile number 4, you're not allowing your highest self to come into your path right now. And they're saying it goes along with this 22 card, master number card of letting go. You need to let go of that egotistical need to control how your life is supposed to go and how your path is supposed to go, how your soul path is supposed to go. They're saying that those of you, there's a part of you who chose number 4 who just are starting on your spiritual journey, and those of you there's another part of you who know that you're meant to be in a spiritual place, but you are denying it because it's not something you can control in life. They're saying you need to let go. You need to let go of that control and allow what is going to come in for you. For those of you who chose in a pile number 4, this priestess energy is your energy. In the deck that I picked this from, the priestess is the highest divine person in this deck. So it doesn't matter if you, sorry guys, it doesn't matter if you are feminine or masculine. The priestess is here just showing up saying that how are you being called to step up and lead? Because this is the highest form of spirituality or a spiritual being in the deck that this is from. Guys, the feeling that I'm getting from you guys is there's a small portion of you guys who are waking up, who chose number 4, who were called because your power is so great. The majority of you guys, though, I very much see somebody sitting in a very egotistical, trying to control the world, but knowing how divine you are, knowing that you have that divine power, but you are so stubborn and tied to the material world that you are trying to control what things are coming in for you. And I can tell you right now, whatever power that you have right now, pile number 4, you are meant to have like an infinity more of power, but you are blocking it from coming into your life because you're sitting in that egotistical, materialistic thinking and trying to control it. You are meant to be so much greater and have so much more. You just need to release resistance and allow spirit to come in your life in a way that it's trying to come in and not in a way that you're trying to control it. This goes along with that expansion. You are meant to expand tremendously, but you keep on denying yourself your true spirit because of that control aspect. All of this, guys, is going back to control. So guys, do your healing journeys to help you release that control. And this knowing without knowing is coming in because you know how powerful you can be, but you're giving that abundance up to have that control. And guys, especially when it comes to your spiritual path, you can't control your spiritual path. Believe me, I have tried. If we could control our spiritual paths, ooh, seriously, like how amazing and easy would we have, paths would we have? It would be the easiest thing in the world just to snap your fingers and do what you want to do. But that's not the way this works. We need to heal and go within ourselves and release resistance and release control to have that amazingness come into our lives in a way that we couldn't imagine. And I really feel like I'm speaking to the choir here. For some of you, for a very small portion of you guys, you're just awakening, and this is really good information to come in to not have control on your spiritual path. But I'd say for over 80% of you who picked pile number 4, you know that you're blocking yourself off, and I'm just preaching to the choir here. So this is your your that you need to move from that ego mind into your heart center and be open to what your what spirit is trying to bring in for you. And I just got this from spirit. They're saying that you're trying to control this because you're trying not to feel your feelings. And here's the thing, guys, spirituality doesn't work that way. We can't walk on a truly spiritual path in our divine power when we don't do our healing work and we don't do we don't feel our feelings. And I understand it is going through trauma, going through pain, it's hard. But getting through that, again, I said this, I think, in pile number 2. So pile number 4, guys, I can't stress this enough. Going through that shadow work, going through that healing work will never be as traumatic as sitting in those feelings every day or trying to control your situation out of those feelings. And it'll never be as traumatic and painful as going through it in the first place. And being on the other side of great trauma in my life, and being able to heal from that and go through that shadow work and get those deep core wounds healed, I can tell you right now, and I feel a lot of fear in my heart chakra for you guys, but I can tell you right now, being on the other side of that is so much better than walking a path where I was just trying to control and push down my feelings and not feel anything because I felt like I needed to. So guys, I understand completely when it comes to wanting to control those issues and those feelings and those emotions, but you can't. You have to feel your feelings. You have to get through. I mean, we all have free will. You don't have to, but to be in your divine presence, you have to go through that, or divine essence. You have to get through that healing journey so you can expand. And again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, guys. This is something that you already know within yourselves. I'm just here to validate that this is the path that you're supposed to be on. So guys, do what you need to do within yourselves. Give yourself that self-worth, self-love, and self-care so you can go in your healing journey and get into your highest selves. Because guys, you are divine. Pile number 4, you are seriously, I haven't felt this heightened power. Like, you are not just in the 5D, like you are past the 5D energies. So pile number 4, you don't need to get there. We all have free will, but I feel like you have this inner need and inner knowing that you're meant to rise higher, or to raise higher. And you'll get there. You'll do it if you can let yourself feel those emotions and heal from them. So we have green, revitalize your nervous system. Again, you guys are 100% denying your emotions, therefore your nervous system your whole body system physically is going to be messed up, but especially your nervous system. I'm feeling like a lot of you run a state of adrenaline constantly, that it's that state of anxiety or joy, because the only difference between anxiety and joy is anxiety has fear in it, but it is the same kind of heightened body state. And guys, that heightened body state, it runs us ragged physically. It destroys our immune system, our nervous system, our adrenal glands. Being in that fight and flight constantly stresses your body out physically. So I feel like a lot of you are, if you don't have physical issues yet, you will start having physical issues here soon, because you're in a constant state of trauma. So you're in a constant state of fight or flight, and that is just going to burn you ragged. You're going to be constantly sick if you already haven't been. You're going to have constant pain if you already haven't been. A lot of allergies come up with this, especially like food allergies that come out when people have a messed up nervous system that causes a messed up immune system, it also causes us to have a more negative mental and emotional stance, because our body is constantly in that fight or flight. I can feel that fight and flight in my body. My body is like tensed up right now. Do meditation, get out in nature, revitalize yourself, do detoxes, do balances, do balancing, work out, but not obsessively, guys, to get kind of that excess energy out. But you're going to get to a point, because I used to be this way all the time too, but you're going to get a point once you're in that healing, those healing modalities, where your nervous system calms down. But again, you know, I can speak from experience. I was in that fight or flight for years, and it just physically destroyed me. So you'll get into a place of physical health, but it has to do with facing your emotions and going on your healing journey. But when you're in that trauma every day, it is constant fight or flight, and your body's just going to burn out. Things are going to burn out if they haven't already. Yeah, so Spirit is saying that this is one of the most important pieces of the healing, is the fact that your body is going to be destroyed by this constant fight or flight, adrenaline running through your body every moment of every day, because of these traumas. They're saying that those of you who are not going to work on who you have freedom of choice, but they're saying those of you who will not work on your emotions and will not work on your healing path. It hurts my heart to say this, but you guys will leave this life young. It really hurts my heart. Like, I want to cry because I love people and I can see how divine you guys are. I mean, seriously, I don't say this lightly. You guys are meant to be here as light workers and as people that are past the 5D energies, and to bring that down for yourself and for the benefit of other people. But physically, you because you're not looking at yourself, or you're not looking at your emotions, you're trying to control that within yourself, both emotionally and mentally, and not having a not going into that true higher self spiritual path. Physically, you're destroying yourselves, and I've been there, and I can feel you guys. I can feel that you guys know that you're in this really bad physical place right now, or you will be soon, for some of you. But I laugh because I've been there, and I know how uncomfortable it is. I know how just physically detrimental it is for you. So I completely understand, but I also can tell you on the flip side of this, going into your healing modalities, going into your higher self path, I can't say how amazing it is and how enough it is. Having this like fight or flight and wanting to I want to just kind of burst out of my skin and curl up in a ball and cry at the same time. I've been there. I've been through it for many, many, many years, decade, over a decade of years. This can end if you choose to do it. If you choose free will and choose not to do it, that's your right. Everybody has free will in this life, but guys, please, 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 take care of yourselves, because nobody wants to leave this world. Nobody who is in a healthy place wants to leave this world young. You have so much more experience and so much more life to live, pile number 4. Yeah, you guys are amazing, and you guys, seriously, you gotta let go of this control of it and go into those emotions. Again, it's not easy, but it is easier than sitting in this fight or flight. It's easier than going through the trauma that you went through in the first place. So let go and allow your healing journey to come in for you guys. Because this abundance is meant to be yours in so many ways. You might be abundant financially now, but I'm talking about abundance of health, abundance of love, abundance of relationships, and more financial abundance will follow. But you guys are meant to have that abundant spiritual life, abundant life of love and joy. Getting there is you have to do your healing work to get there. Yeah, you have to get you're blocking yourself. They're showing me that you're blocking yourself off from this higher self, and because of that, you're blocking yourself off from a lot of abundance. And again, guys, you have this knowing without knowing. I'm preaching to the choir. You guys know this information. I was the same way. People would tell me something that dealt with my healing journey and dealt with my spiritual journey and dealt with my spiritual power, and I knew, whether I denied it on the outside or not, I knew inside of me that I was meant for so much more, and that I was meant to be healed, and I was meant to have a journey of love and light. It was just getting there that was the issue. And when I released resistance and opened up my heart chakra to divine and to my higher self, everything started flowing in my life. So I know that was a bit rough, pile number 4, but you guys are meant to be such great divine beings. And those, I find a lot of times those who are meant to be great divine beings, sometimes we have the hardest road, because we're meant to raise so much higher Therefore, a lot of our lives have a lot of grief and pain in them. So beautiful messages for the solstice, guys. I hope that those of you on pile number 4 can get to a place of love and light. I know it was a bit heavy for the messages, but divine comes in and says what they want to say because they're trying to help you in your life. So again, if you want more of me, please find me down in the comment or down in the descriptions for my Patreon. But for those of you who, you know, yeah, I hope that you guys got that everybody got something out of today's pick a card reading. But remember, you know, your life and your path is your own, and it can be either that path of grief and pain or the path of love and light. That is your choice in this world. So I love you guys. I will see you later. Have a good one and have a happy solstice. Bye.